AP Biology, Chapter 4, Carbon and Molecular Diversity. What are some properties of alcohols? Alcohols are molecules containing, or organic compounds containing, hydroxyl groups. So the first property of the hydroxyl group is that it generally makes the alcohol molecule polar. Hydroxyl groups can form hydrogen bonds to one another and also to other compounds. This hydrogen bonding means that alcohols can be used as solvents. Also, there are two opposing solubility trends. There's a tendency of the polar OH group to promote the solubility in water, and that of the carbon chain to resist the solubility in water. So methanol, ethanol, and propanol are soluble in water because the hydroxyl group wins out over the short carbon chain. But butanol, which has a 4-carbon chain, is moderately soluble because of a balance between the two trends. Alcohols of 5 or more carbons, pentanol and higher, are effectively insoluble in water because of the hydrocarbon chain's dominance. So, for example, ethanol, with its shorter carbon chain, is soluble in water because fundamentally the hydroxyl group wins out. So in this case, in the case of butanol, however, we can see that butanol has a much longer carbon chain and the hydroxyl group loses, and butanol is not soluble in water. So the other features of compounds containing the hydroxyl group OH, alcohols for example, because of hydrogen bonding, alcohols have higher boiling points than comparable hydrocarbons and ethers. This is because it takes more energy to make the molecules start moving faster and detach themselves from the hydrogen bonds. Also, alcohols like water can show either acidic or basic properties. They are generally slightly weaker acids than water, but they are still able to react with strong bases like sodium hydride or reactive metals such as sodium. Now, alcohols also undergo oxidation to give aldehydes, ketones, and carboxylic acids. They can also be dehydrated to alkenes. So to sum up, the main functional properties of alcohols which contain hydroxyl groups: they make the alcohol molecule polar. These groups can form hydrogen bonds, and therefore alcohols can be used as solvents. And in terms of solubility, we see alcohols with shorter carbon chains are soluble in water because the hydroxide property of the hydroxide group wins out, and those that have longer carbon chains are insoluble in water, like butanol, because the longer carbon chain wins out. Also, alcohols have higher boiling points due to the hydrogen bonding, and like water, they show acidic basic properties. They can undergo oxidation or they can be dehydrated.